Hey everyone, this is Elias from RevMatch Media, and today we're going to be taking a look at the 2023 Cadillac Escalade V. This will get loud. Let's get started. Now for this review, we're going to do things a little bit different. We've already reviewed a Cadillac Escalade, so I'll be putting that link right above there so you guys can watch that full review. For this, with it being the V, a lot of it is still the same, but the most important thing is not what's under here. But there are other subtle changes that were done to the Escalade in the V trim. So with that being said, we get started in the front, and where this differs from the other trims is the front bumper. Now typically, so grille still remains nice and big. I love the black. It just looks so good in the black. But this part here, so the lower bumper does change a little bit. It is for different cooling because again, with this being the supercharged, kind of give that one away. With this having the engine that it does require different cooling. Obviously, it was designed for other vehicles, so this did have to get reworked. Honestly, I love it. I love it. It's not a bad thing because a lot of times it's like, oh, we got to fix an engineering problem, but it's for the better because I think it's just a subtle little thing, just this little piece there, and this here changes, and it just looks so much more aggressive. But yeah, that's the Cadillac Escalade V front. Let's go under here because that's where we want to go. We get under the hood, and yeah, this is what makes the Cadillac Escalade V the V. So under the hood, we have the 6.2 liter supercharged V8 engine cranking out 682 horsepower and 653 pound-feet of torque. It is connected to the 10-speed auto and then to the all-wheel drive system. Yeah, so there is a lot to this whole program, and I have my notes. So this engine is built by hand and signed by the engine craftsman. In this case, we have Chase Duval. So thank you for building this because it is such a blast. You probably had some fun too. Not as much as I had driving it, I'm sure, but thank you for building this. It is so nice. First of all, it looks like it fits there. It looks like this should have been, the first engine to go into the Cadillac, which was great. It looks unbelievable. And again, this is an engine you see in certain Corvettes and Camaros. That's insane. It's insane to put it in this. And thank you, Cadillac, for letting the crazy ones have at it with this. But it's just unbelievable. The 10-speed auto, so smooth in delivering the power, going to the next gear. And when you have it in that V mode, it is super sharp at getting to the next gear. Those downshifts are very, very controlled. It's rev matched, so it doesn't unsettle the big SUV. So I'm glad the programming, the tuning was done so well in this. It's just such an incredible package. The noise is unbelievable. It really is. It sounds great. I know that I read somewhere that they did have to rework cooling, which is why that front bumper was reworked in order to make sure this guy gets fresh air and to pump out those loud noises. But it's just incredible. The power delivery is instant at any RPM. That supercharger is unbelievable. It really is. Well, let's see what we have in those wheels and tires. We get down to the wheel and tire package, and we have the Escalade V exclusive 22-inch wheel, and it is wrapped in the 275/50 Bridgestone tire. Now, again, exclusive to the V. Let me tell you, this thing looks nice. I love the dark gray color it has. It looks so nice, and it's a really good design as well. The tires, smooth, grips like crazy, especially working with that traction control system. It is so good to get the power down and get this guy going. But it's not just about going, it's also about stopping. And that's what these Brembo brakes do. Yes, this has Brembo brakes. They are massive. They look nice, you know, nice red with the black V in there, but they perform so well. The other great thing I loved about this is they will stop immediately from a cold. You know, there's some performance brakes that you're needing to get some heat in them because they need to work with certain temperatures. Not with this. Right off the bat, you're getting great braking power, but even when you do push them, they're gonna still brake really well. So I was impressed at how good this braking system is. And yeah, we have the air suspension, magnetic ride. All this just technology makes this such a comfortable driving SUV when you want it to, but when you want to really push it and have some fun, a great performance handling SUV. And it's a big guy too. And right now with the air suspension, we do have it at the lowest because, you know, this is a little sportier, but there are different stages of this. You still have kind of your off-road setting, you have your normal, you have your slightly lowered, I forget the phrasing, and then you have the entry, which is what we're at here. You can only activate the one above this one, which is kind of like a sport mode with the V active, and then when you're not in V mode, it just goes to the normal ride height. But yeah, this setup is so nice. It looks so good. The only thing I wish we would have had it in red, or I don't know, something louder, because yeah, it just kind of blends in a little too much here, for my taste at least. Well, let's go ahead and see what we have on the side, which hasn't really changed much. We get to the side and we can see it's pretty much a normal Escalade from the side. There's nothing really different or differentiating, other than obviously we have the wheels. If you have a keen eye or have the knowledge, you'd be able to know that those are exclusive to the V. If you don't, you have a nice big V badge there to let everyone know there's something special under that hood. But yeah, other than that, which isn't a bad thing, because the Escalade non-V was great to begin with. We have the running boards, the light up running boards underneath, the air suspension to make things easier to get in and out of. It's just a really great SUV. Oh, the black trim just looks so good. Yeah, it really, again, it's still a great Escalade. Let's go to the back though, because that's where things really change. We get to the back and this is still probably one of my favorite taillight designs. The big blade looks just so incredible. Again, I just can't reiterate how much I love this design, but pretty much everything else is the same till we get down here. Yes, we have quad exhaust tips. Yes, they are real exhaust tips. Yes, they are loud. Again, everything else is the same. We have that though, that is just incredible. Now, I have my key fob, so again, inside storage, it's all the same, that whole thing. I do have the key fob. It is red. It is red, and it does have remote start. Now, typically I do the remote start after I do my drive and everything, which the engine's already warm, and you know the fact that cold starts versus warm starts, just not the same. So I decided before I headed out from my house to film a true cold start. So let's go to that. This thing is so much louder when it's a cold start. I think you guys need to enjoy it. So key fob, just press this twice. Yeah, this thing is insanely loud. And there you have it. Yes, you can see this thing is insanely loud. It really, I told you it was gonna get loud. Now, thankfully my neighbors have been really, really nice and understand that it gets loud sometimes. But let me show you the difference. I'll go ahead and hit the start again. Okay, no, I stand corrected. It's still loud. Oh gosh. Well, let's go ahead and go for a ride because this thing is so much fun. We get inside of the Cadillac Escalade V, and inside it's really no different than your basic or your standard Cadillac Escalade. There really isn't much anything really that I recall that looked different, except for one little thing, which we'll get to. But again, you know, just go ahead and watch the other video for just kind of the overall review of what an Escalade is. But here we're just going to focus about those V things. And we get started with there's a couple of trims. So there are little things, the little badges here. So I do have one badge here on the left, and I think that is probably it in here. But the important thing is we have a V button here on, you know, in front of the shifter. I don't recall what was there for the other one. Probably traction control, which I can't seem to find here. So I want to say that was most likely traction control. But now it's V, which means we get to unlock the power of this big guy. But we have customization. So before we press that, I'm going to press the mode button because this is going to give me the different modes. We have Tour, we have Sport, we have Snow Ice, Tow Haul, and then My Mode. So when I go to Tour, obviously the different things that you can change are things like steering, suspension, engine and shifting, brake feel, engine sound, and all-wheel drive. Now, okay, let me put that back. The only thing with this is you can't customize it. There you go. Perfect. It is smart enough to tell me you can't customize that mode. Switch to V or My Drive to change the mode. So if I do go to My Mode, it basically gives me the option of modifying things like the steering, the suspension, brake feel, and engine sound. Yeah. Till you go to the V. So when I press V, it gives me those plus the all-wheel drive. Basically, you know, how aggressive do you want it to be as an all-wheel drive or as a more rear-wheel drive vehicle. So yeah, we have that. Now, honestly though, oh, and the suspension, obviously, you know, we're gonna feel that. The suspension feels great. I haven't had, yeah, and we have the little button to raise it or lower it here. We do have the lowered ground clearance, which does turn on when you are in V mode. So V mode does activate a lower ride height that is only unlockable when you have it in V mode. So you can't just be in touring and have it a little bit lower for better stability, better aerodynamics, that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's the other thing is with the gas consumption, it's been insane. I've literally taken a 5-mile trip and seen I've consumed about 20 miles of gas, so to speak, you know, what it suggests there. So we're gonna go ahead and switch it. Actually, I'm gonna go to mode so that you guys can see. Yeah, so My Mode, and it really is a big difference when you go from stealth to tour to sport as far as the engine sound goes. It actually does perform. It's like cranking up the volume, literally. Because, okay, so I'll hold it there, and it's quiet there, and no more input than I had before. But let's go ahead and switch over to V mode. And it's already gurgling and burbling and doing all the stuff. It just sounds so good. Should we go from a start? I think so. We'll go ahead, and it's just downshifting so good. Go from a stop. Oh, jeez. Oh, that's insane. insane. That is insane. I believe the 0 to 60 is like 4.4 seconds. And yeah, so let's talk numbers. We're dealing with the 6.2 liter supercharged V8 cranking out 682 horsepower and 653 pound-feet of torque. That is connected to the 10-speed auto and then to the all-wheel drive system that this has. Now, the crazy thing about this engine is shared between some iconic Camaros and Corvettes. That's insane. It's yeah. We need to try that again. Oh! It's a symphony. It's a symphony of those quad tips in the back. It's just one right after every, one gear right after the other. It sounds so good. This thing, yeah, the power is there. The sound. I love what Cadillac has done to the Escalade V. It said, and thank you whoever approved this project, they said, well, we're going electric next year or hybrid or whatever the case is. Let's go out with a bang. And yeah. Oh, is it ever a glorious, just, it's so good. If you have the money, get the V. You need to get this. It's just exhilarating. It's just, I'm speechless. I really am, because this is just so good. And again, it's putting that V8 supercharged under there and just making it scream. But this is the perfect, like, hey, I have a family, I enjoy fast, loud cars. Why not get an Escalade with a Corvette Camaro engine in it? Like, how ridiculously awesome does that sound? It's incredible. It just sounds so good. It accelerates on a, yeah. It is so good, but it also brakes well too. Yeah, those big Brembos get this guy really stopped. And the suspension gets this guy turned pretty good. It feels, even though it's a big SUV, it definitely handles those turns pretty well. Now, I would have put this on a track, but maybe on a drag strip just to kind of embarrass some guys. But it just feels and performs so well. And we'll go ahead and switch down to manual mode. And what I love about this 10-speed is the way it's programmed is it will hold the gear. So it will not let you shift, or it will not shift for you. Yep, there you go. It just sounds so good. I would like bigger paddles though, so bigger paddle shifters, because you do kind of lose them when you are turning and need to maybe put a little bit more steering input. But it just sounds so heavenly. It really does. Downshift, it's just incredible. This thing is insane. Now, again, we still have the creature comforts, so we don't have to be in V. We can just be in Tour, and yeah, and again, we have all the creature comforts and technology, so I can go ahead and literally just do a 3-point stop. I'm gonna have my great 360-degree camera system. Yeah, like no issues with this being, what it's supposed to be, a Cadillac. Luxury, comfort, and it's still a Cadillac. You still have the comfort, you still have the luxury, but it's got that V. Put the V on, and let's see, no snow, ice, sport. Yeah, so all-wheel drive, we do have it set to sport, and let's go from a stop again. It's like it's ready to be unleashed. And It's been raining, so I've had to be careful with this, but don't worry. If you want to have this as an everyday driver, the traction control will not let you move out of line, so to speak. So yeah, that did give me some peace of mind to mention to you guys that even though we have this insane power, it is still controlled. So it is still control. Yeah. Crazy thing, the rear left, as I was making that right turn, did dip in the water, but you felt the traction control keeping you safe. You felt it, like making sure that you're not drifting over or sliding over. So it is still a very safe vehicle. That's the biggest thing. With great power comes great responsibility from these brands, and making sure that you're still safe, even when you run out of talent. But you know what you won't run out of? Smiles and enjoyment and laughter, because this is insane. Now, what's crazy is I started this with an average best MPG of 13. We're down to 10 now, and that is a long amount of 13. It was about a quarter tank of 13, and literally probably spent about an eighth of a tank right now in about 10 miles. Yeah. It's just that crazy. Yeah, it really is. But again, my favorite thing, this is a true Jekyll and Hyde vehicle. It's unsuspecting. You're still able to just drive it comfortably, be calm, have your own, road trip for, thousands of miles, and be in perfect comfort. It's insane. But then, of course, life is too short, and yeah, it's all about having fun, right? So let's switch over to that V again, and let's go. Oh, it is just so good. And then downshift. And the downshifts are so well controlled, just very behaved. It's not upsetting the car like others do, which is why, automatics sometimes are a little tough to drive, in manual mode because of that. But this is super just dialed in. It really is incredibly dialed in. I think that's the first time I hear the supercharger compared to the exhaust. So, pro tip, if you end up getting a Cadillac Escalade V and you want to show off, or you want to enjoy the supercharger whine, have it in V mode, go to about 3,000 RPMs, and then just hold it there. It sounds so good. But of course, that's only gonna last so long, because you're gonna want to just go. Oh, it is just unbelievable. Well, guys, I hope you've enjoyed my review of the Cadillac Escalade V. And remember, it's not about finding the right gear. It's about this. See ya.